Greetings, everybody. Gathered around the table again today. We're going to have a little look at what our favorite SHOT Show offerings were, following up on the heels of the SHOT Show and all the big new announcements.
It's a Gonzo episode! Woo!
Welcome back.
Yep.
Oh, the Gonzos.
But first up, Pocket Dumps. This week, carrying my Crooked River with the Banksia Pod. It's a nice one.
It's classic.
He always shows not the good side, which is very much this side.
He's embarrassed of that scuff.
Yeah, a little bit of the scuff in its gap here on that side.
It is, but the
Yeah.
Banksia pod has so many cool resin colors on this side.
It does.
That it
It's
makes
gorgeous.
up for it, for
Yeah,
sure.
nice.
So,
Looks good.
Next up,
alright, I haven't carried it for a while, but I figured I'd break it out. It's the GB1, Gail Bradley
Yep.
one, M4 and carbon fiber-ish stuff.
That OG stuff.
It's big, fat. It's like
word.
a fat PH GB1.
It's also fat with an F.
It's both of the fats.
Both of the fats.
That's bad cholesterol right there.
Good and bad. Go along with the Spyderco theme. I've got that military with me again.
Oh, I see.
Still the Digicab, still haven't polished it out. Don't think I will. I'm really liking it. People can get over the tip down stuff. As much as I like tip up carry, I like it.
You should rate dye that Digicam though,
Mm-hmm.
because
I'd like to.
Even if
Gives
it's
cool
like
results.
a gray, because I like boring stuff.
Oh.
Even shades of gray would be cool.
Actually,
dude.
shades of gray would be really cool. Crap. I was gonna do blue.
Go ahead, Paul. What do you carry today?
And that's a fact.
Why doesn't it have any colors on it?
Because I can't color it.
Because it's not
I don't,
titanium.
have, I don't have any Crayolas with me today.
After my burn on gray, I just wanted you to come back with something just extra poppy.
Yeah, my 452 or something like that.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's a
Toxic
fact.
knife.
It's a great knife. I love it.
Yep.
Surprisingly good behind the edge for like a dagger-shaped blade.
Yeah.
Which I'll give it credit where credit's due. Is
Way more useful than I thought it was going to be.
yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, like I mentioned, this week we're going to be taking a look at our favorite SHOT Show offerings. As a group, we decided that the CRKT Provoke was out of the runnings just because we had just talked about it and it wasn't actually released for SHOT Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We all love it. We know about it.
yeah, it got great acclaim and hype and reviews at the SHOT Show. So if you're thinking that we should have included in this episode, go back and watch the previous episode where we do talk about it.
All right.
About my hands.
So I guess we're starting with me because reasons.
Yep.
And it's changed again. Go the other way. Do the thing. See, there we go.
So, Paul's pick,
That there Outlast.
Yeah.
2019 of the year. It is the Benchmade Outlast
2019 of the year.
of the year.
It wasn't night
It
of the year,
is
is it?
2019 of the year. No, it's not late of the year. It's just the 2019 of the year. It's like
Whoa.
of the year 2019, but I said it backwards.
You did. I was horribly confused, but that's okay.
I'm still confused.
I think everyone is.
So why is this year of the year 2019 then?
Paul, tell us about this knife.
All right. Do you want like specs?
I just want to know a little
Why do
something,
you-
something about it.
What
first.
caught your interest out of all the offerings at SHOT Show that this was
So-
your picking?
The thing that really caught me was I've been first aid trained for a number of years, and I've been looking on the market for a long time for like the perfect everyday carry rescue tool, whether it's a rescue knife or like I was looking at the Leatherman Raptor, the Spyderco Assist, even the Triage from
Benchmade
Benchmade.
Triage is a great offering.
Yeah.
The Benchmade Triage EDC with the smoothed out scales.
Hold on.
Yes, I was looking for a
Even
practical.
a tactical triage.
Something that I could carry every day and use every day, but also had those safety tools in it that worked when I needed them to work, right? And this one came out this year, and it's got the, what is it called?
Option access?
The option lock.
Yeah.
And in the video that I've seen of it deployed and everything else, it seems to hold the other blade in somehow really well. And I'm curious to get it in hand and play with it and see if you can
And you
pop
can
them both.
see, and I don't know if we can
They-
zoom
they're
in
both-
here. No, we can't zoom in. Maybe we can zoom in there. You do see like this very heavy, like cutout on the back of the triage blade. or of the
that
rescue
one's-
blade, sorry.
I thought that one was a hole opening.
Oh,
instead
that
of
is
the
a hole.
thumb stud.
That's
yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can
that's
see in
what
that
the
picture
cutout
there.
is.
Yeah,
Sorry,
kind
my
of
bad.
the whole oxygen
Yeah.
tank wrench.
Yeah, exactly. The only downfall that I see with that is that you kind of need to have the knife open to use the oxygen wrench.
Yeah.
And an exposed blade is not the greatest thing to do.
So, quick specs on this bad boy.
Yep. It is 3.6 inches long. It is 5.96 ounces, something like that. No, sorry, 6.5.
Okay, sure. 5 or 6 ounces.
No.
Blade steel, cutting blade steel is,
S30V for the main blade and 3V for the.
more
secondary.
importantly, 3V for the rescue blade.
Mhm.
We know what it is. We don't need to check specs. Stop doing what you're doing over there.
Are you sure about that?
3V for the rescue blade.
Yeah.
I believe it's 440C for the cutting hook. It might be 154 CM. Spec check that for us, Joe.
It's not in there.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
It's not in there.
Okay, so
Yeah, and so you know me, I really do enjoy S30V, or sorry, 3V a lot. I can't speak.
and honestly, with this like shallow serration and 3V,
It's intriguing.
It's intriguing, and that's
Yeah.
part of it.
For a blade that you may want to avoid deformation as you're cutting through a reinforced seatbelt, it might be a good idea.
Well, it's designed for that kind
cool.
of like removing clothing from a wound,
Yeah.
things like that kind of.
And with the 3B blade being the one with the snub nose,
Yes.
it would stand up nicely for the prying because
Yeah.
3V has amazing strength to it.
yeah. The tensile strength on
Mhm.
3V is absolutely ridiculous. So for prying, that's awesome. And if this option lock can hold 2 blades in place, holding 1 blade in place while you're prying has good potential, at least for when it's coming in. Ridging on the G10 has a volley like.
Oh yes, that
Yeah.
was 100%. It's nice. I actually like the little bit of added texture without being rough on the hands. You know what I mean? The original Triage is a wear your gloves and use this knife kind of knife.
Yes, that one was a little bit obnoxious when it
It
came
is.
to the texture. Very cold steel-esque.
The other thing that I really like is with Benchmade specifically, their carbide tips don't protrude like crazy.
Hmm. Very subtle.
Yeah,
It's just
And
located
effective.
right on the butt.
Yes.
effective.
Yeah.
They're not gonna jab into you when you're sitting around and stuff like that.
There's a reason why I don't mind carrying my Contigo compared to like an M16 rescue knife where they've got a 1/4 inch of carbide tip that's just stabbing you in the thigh every time you sit down.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, the Benchmade does it right.
Deep
for sure.
Deep carry clip that, which for me is something that I like. Just kind of tuck things away and get them out of view.
Yep.
And
They should be out soon.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think there's much delay on these guys. Yeah.
The biggest concern I guess is the price point. They're like $300.
What have we got
MSRP.
for 300?
Mind you,
Yeah.
you are getting 2 blades.
2 blades.
Two blades, yeah.
2 blades.
And a brand new
ladies and
lock,
gents. Yeah,
which
yeah.
is it costs money.
One of them is 3V. So
Factor that in when you think about the price point being what it is.
Yep. It's something that when we get it in hand, that is going to 100% make the deciding factor for me. If I
How
like
it
the way it
feels.
deploys, I like playing with thumb studs. I like playing with opening holes. So having both in a fidgety knife is
and
right up there.
I
for
think
me.
I saw a spec where it's still less thick than the Adamas.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
nice.
Keep that in
That's
mind.
saying
even with-
something.
Yeah.
With 2 blades. And as far as breadth,
It is. It's 0.69 inches.
cool.
It's huge.
Very cool.
An excellent
So-
pick.
Yep. Excellent pick. Very intriguing offering for sure.
Paloma.
I'm gonna say
Roma.
Paroma. It still sounds like a disease.
Roma tomato.
We're going.
So, we're going from Paul's pick, which is very cool, very intriguing offering, to my pick. We're going to my pick. I want to say it's this pick right
Yep.
here. We Knife Company has come out with, for 2019, they call it the Pleroma. Let's just zoom in on all the glorious awesomeness that is this
It's a cool
knife.
looking knife.
Oh my
You picked
goodness.
a modern sway back.
It's all sorts of funky weirdness.
It has a sway back handle, and they fully out claim it has a sway back handle. M390 on the blade. Let's make Dennis happy. Let's go integral frame lock, which will pop up a picture right here with or integral titanium. Sorry. Another thing with gray titanium, and then you make it integral. Oh, all sorts of awesome.
Easily colored.
And then you make Dennis extra happy by not coloring it. Fuck you, Paul.
It is that is a legitimate concern.
And then putting on a carbon fiber overlay, onlay, inlay. I don't even know what they call it, but it's awesome.
It would look nice purple.
Yeah.
I've seen anodizing colors, and we might loop an anodizing color because I've already seen a picture recently of an anodized color. Yeah, super awesome. They came out in the prototype actually in bronze, and by production time, they probably were just like, get it out on the market because it's sweet, and they kept it out in gray.
No time to anodize. Just push out the door.
But as you can tell from my hype behind this knife, my personal opinion is 50 out of 50. Go.
I love the floating thumb studs.
Yeah.
They're pretty sweet.
That one is one of the cool touches.
I like how it looks. I'm not sure how I'd like it about having I like spider holes. What am I talking about? It's fine.
So apparently, from all the reviews I've seen as well, you can thumb stud flick it as well as spidey flick it because the hole is big enough. Like the Megatherium, like the Minitherium had the hole in it. A lot of people were spidey flicking it, and apparently you can still do that with this knife. So, ball bearing system on it.
Of course.
I like the ratio of like open space to like solid handle and stuff like that.
Yeah, the
Very artsy.
negative space
Yeah.
aspect is really nice in it.
It's a pretty knife.
Elijah Isham, he does some out there work. Some of it I really like. Some of it I'm like, you've gone too far, my friend. Come back to the real world where you can make us knives that cut. And this is a knife that cuts.
It looks like it'll cut, yeah.
His inspiration is actually the curves of a woman.
Yep.
And why he wanted the sway back design, the nice curves. He's known for very geometric, hard angles on things. So to do something primarily based on curves,
This is a bit of a departure, and it's a welcome one for sure.
yeah,
And yeah, even from the angle I'm sitting at, I could see like shoulder, back, hips going down to the legs. Sort of. That's
I would see it
Side
in the opposite
profile.
direction.
oh yeah,
Like you can see it like from like
Either
lower
way.
body
I
up to
suppose
the head.
it's very symmetrical, or fairly symmetrical, I should say.
What part's that?
Also, like your Outlast on the last knife, this did come out a little preemptively. It was available within the last month or so. People did have it over the Christmas season. So with that in mind, it's not necessarily the newest knife on the market, but over everything I saw 2019, and cool stuff on 2019, no shortcomings.
Yeah.
But it's rare that I get hyped about a knife, and I'm hyped about this knife. It's super cool.
It is an attention grabber for sure.
What's the MSRP on that one?
You're gonna hate it so much because it's M390. It's integral titanium. It's carbon fiber. It's ball bearing system. Oh, it is a whopping $300 American for this bad boy at a mini barrage or a Delica size. A para 3 size
That is
is
an
what you're
amazing
working.
price.
For all
Actually-
of the elements in there and the machining for that cutout and stuff, that seems like a reasonable price
Yeah,
to me.
when you compare
Yeah.
it to
Wow.
the Outlast, that was $300.
Yeah, lateral bolster lock is what they call their glorified
Liner
version
lock?
of a liner lock. But the way that this thing is made, watch Nick Shabazz's disassembly because it bewilders him in all sorts of humorous ways
Excellent.
that make me smile and just like this knife that much more.
I like the clip too.
Yeah.
Right hand only. Again, Dennis
Yeah.
is falling in love with a right hand only knife.
You get what you deserve.
I'm trying to come to terms with it.
It's a looker for sure, though. Like, holy
Yeah.
crap.
It's a piece of art.
For a man who likes boring knives, this might be one of the fanciest knives that you ever see Dennis fall in love with.
Yeah.
But, geez, man, there's reasons.
It checks the right boxes.
Oh, it checks so many boxes.
Indeed.
So,
All right, my turn. So I went in a bit more of a somewhat mundane route. I'm not looking at a single-bladed knife. I was kind of enamored by Leatherman's newest offering.
2019,
This excited me.
what do you got to show us?
This is the Leatherman Free P2. Will it scroll? Oh, we'll wait for it to load. So, it works on a... Oh,
Here, we've got so much better offerings right here that I
perfect.
should have left
Look
it
at
on
that.
in the first place. It's a beautiful thing.
It reloaded.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So, what is so freaking interesting about this tool? Well, the first thing, you can access all the tools while it's closed. They're held in place by the magic of magnets. Not only that, the pliers themselves are held into closed position by magnets.
Science.
Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. Yeah, science, bitch. I'm excited by this because it is going to be a one-handed opening tool that allows for a full set of pliers with the normal configuration of opening, as opposed to the Leatherman OHT, for example.
Yes.
Another out the front.
And a pocket clip.
And a pocket clip. This thing has me so damn excited.
So apparently, flick it out, right?
Yes.
Joe, keep going. Like how? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to show you. I won't show you, but I'm going to give a brief. The idea is that you can flick, and pinch. With the traditional system, there's a bit of friction built in. You kind of have to use two hands, or if they wear it over time, yeah, eventually you can kind of swing them open, but it's never a for sure thing. With this, it is free swinging right off of the disengagement from the magnet.
So I've looked at this P2 and the P4 is the bigger one. Absolutely awesome. But my question is right now, as you were saying, free swinging, what's the pivots free swinging on?
Washers, as far as I'm aware.
Is it washers? Is it ball bearings? What? Because when
I don't
they
think they
popped
said.
it,
Yeah, I
no,
don't
they
know.
didn't. And when they popped it open,
It's
It
smooth.
burns.
it's flipping like a fish out of water. It's
I'm
yeah.
willing to say bushings rather than bearings, only because they had some other models that they introduced this year which were using the same magnetic mechanism,
Yeah.
but they were on bushings as well. So I'm going to say probably
They were more like
Were
this
you?
magnetic system.
Are you
That's
talking
just-
about the pocket knife aspect?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just an educated guess. I don't know for sure.
Because those are on bronze bushing, so you
Yes.
imagine that those are too.
And just
I'm just
knowing-
curious because it was so smooth
Yeah.
in the video when they pop
Yeah.
them open. They are literally just like
Well,
free swing.
Think about some paramilitary twos where you can have that free drop after you disengage the lock.
I got some nice
Okay,
oil in there.
so my next question with Leatherman is, how is the vertical play on the pliers if they're that free swinging?
We'll have to see. They
Yeah.
look pretty solid in the
They
videos.
did.
That's
very solid.
separate pivots too, though, right?
Well, that's what's swinging the arms open, but that's
Oh.
also the arms that are moving the pliers
They
back and
do.
forth.
They're moving them back and forth, but like this one here is the actual pliers. If you know what I mean, like
Oh, yeah.
the handles
Yeah,
might
you're-
move, but the
you're right.
pliers aren't gonna.
The
move
middle
back into
pivot
it.
is
There's
yeah,
still going to be some friction upon engagement for
Yeah.
each side. So, meaning this particular action here, where it
because they
pops.
look tricky to close, and that was one of the things that I'm like, how can they be that free swinging open and that stiff?
lock
there's
when they open.
there's got to be some form of detent. And just from watching them handling them in the video, it looked like they're still very easily manipulated. And honestly, I don't want pliers closing too easily on my hands if I'm in the middle of using them.
I'm gonna be honest. The magnets in the blades and like the other tools is just as exciting to me. The idea that you can just run your thumb over the top and open all
Yes,
your tools.
and that was the next thing. And a couple of videos they even said, oh, even with gloved hands. Like, yeah, especially when you're...
Don't need to have nails to open the tools
Yeah.
now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So my question is that a magnetic thing as well?
Yes.
Or is
Yep.
that,
Yes, it
okay.
is.
Because I watched a couple of the videos and they didn't actually specify that they were encased with magnets. They just had a new tab system.
Well,
So I'm curious about that.
kind of the videos that I was watching, I thought they did mention that the tools
Yeah.
were held in by magnets, but that makes sense that if the magnets are at the end of the arms there to keep them closed, that the magnets
it's
would be
holding the
affecting the
blades in.
tools.
That
Yes.
does make sense.
Yeah.
It's probably all the same assembly.
Yeah.
Molded tools, scissors, replaceable cutters. I'm very
Scissors on the
excited.
outside.
Yes.
Mhm, I like that
Big
touch.
fan of scissors on the outside, and I know that's a nitpick with Leatherman, but there's a lot of scissors on the inside of the handle, and those scissors are not robust enough to do shit.
The robust Leatherman scissors are really nice. though.
The ones
they
on the
cut
Surge,
really well. Yeah.
on the ones on the Super Tool,
Fantastic.
fantastic pair of scissors.
All of this and slim enough to be carried in the pocket.
What's our price point? We don't have it on this.
No,
Yeah, no.
not
I don't
available.
think they-
Oh, no,
So,
120. It says right there.
Oh,
there
okay,
you go.
very cool.
P2 is 120, and that's the one we're hyped about. 140, which is not even bad.
That's not bad price at all.
420 high carbon for the blade steel, but really what you're paying for is the magnetic mechanism.
It's a cool setup.
Canadian conversion 150, 179, something like that
Yep,
off the top
not
of my
bad.
head.
I think
lost
that's
my
where,
wingman. I think that's gonna replace it.
yeah.
That's a hell of an upgrade from a wingman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last up, it is my favorite offering, and if I can find the tabs here to pick it, it is the Artisan Cutlery.
Oh.
Come here.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
You're failing.
There we go. So the Artisan Cutlery Kinetic Tool. This thing is really, really, really weird. It is... Then who's failing now?
I'll fix
You're
things.
failing.
I did that so it wouldn't spin on us because we were having issues earlier.
Fair enough.
You didn't get the blue cloth either. You're failing
No.
too.
Oh, shit, I didn't.
So yeah, Artisan Cutlery Kinetic Tool. This thing is really, really cool because it is a automatic balisson. They have it so you can flip it normally like a balisson. Works on those two outer pivots there, but then the blade actually rides on that center pivot, and you can depress the button and have it automatically come up by itself.
I want it.
I know. It makes me giggle so much.
I think over the last week or so, I think a lot of people have seen the video of how this works on Blade Show, SHOT Show. They have come up, and it's absolutely ridiculous on this thing popping open.
So much fun.
It's a butterfly knife with a coil spring. What the fuck? It's so good.
Every time I see someone using it and pop it out and stuff, it just makes me giggle so much. It pleases the inner 4-year-old in me like nothing.
This particular model has 3D rounded G10.
Yeah, they do offer it in a bunch of different variations. They do the black as well as a tan G10, in both the rounded as well as flat. They do a steel-handled version and a titanium-handled version.
It's classy as shit.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
It's so silly.
And
great.
I'm the first person to jump on the like this is ridiculous bandwagon, but $93 American for the
Yep.
G10 and $199 for the titanium versions is nothing to sneeze at, man. Like I gotta call it what it is. Like
Yep.
for a fidget toy,
Shut up
Very much
and take my money. Like,
What he said.
But part of why I'm so excited about this thing is, yes, it is a really, really cool fidget toy, but that's a tool blade on it.
Yes.
We can have it in Canada.
Yes.
It counts as a trainer, and it would be a useful tool. I would make use of that measuring along the backside as well as the pry bar aspect of it. Like, it's,
Absolutely.
I would force myself to come up with reasons to use it.
I'll get Nigel to start drinking beer just so he has to pop some bottles. Like seriously,
Yeah.
I'll get him into it.
it's a cool thing. It's awesome. It's an interesting little bit of machining and engineering, and it's just neat. Yeah. Like,
And again, like, watch the video of them playing with this. As a balisong, apparently pretty smooth action for a balisong, even though the pivots are unusually, like, far apart compared to the
teeny.
close centering that they normally are. That houses the mechanism and the extra pivot to make it deploy as an auto at the same time, right? So...
And put away. Like, you can close it the same way. If you flip it open and then push the button, it'll close itself.
yeah.
See,
it is.
I was confused by that because Zach was closing it manually in the Blade HQ video, but
It
then
is-
also in the video.
Yeah, it is a single action. So as soon as you depress a button, you do have to close it to reset it. But if you start flipping it while the spring is reset and the blade is out,
It
you
hasn't
can.
been set yet.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're resetting it by closing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can pop it and have it close.
Interesting.
Oh, it
It's
makes me laugh
so
so
much
much.
fun. Yeah.
Interesting.
One really cool thing about this is the blade on it is 8CR13 MOV.
so it's a decent blade steel,
Yeah.
something that will hold its shape if you really try to torque it to use it as a hex wrench, a pry bar, a bottle opener.
It is an actual usable tool.
Yes. Which is just so awesome. I was
Yeah.
worried about this being some sort of low-grade steel, but I'm happy.
So watching some artisan cutlery SHOT Show videos, they've been only around for 3 years. 3 years.
Yeah,
This is the third year they've been a company for knives, and they're coming out with something that the knife world has never seen before.
They're definitely making their mark.
I honestly can say that I think artisan cutlery stole the show this year.
How do you
with
not?
this knife.
Yeah, aside
Like-
from this knife, there was a few other offerings from them that really piqued my interest for sure.
The larger one was the Tomahawk. They came out with a cleaver style folder, and they released it in a fixed blade.
Oh, it's so
And
pretty.
then the big brother.
Yeah.
No, the Tomahawk was the big brother. I can't remember what the smaller size was.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
two fixed blades. One was a smaller size one, and it was proportional to
To
the
thick-
folder.
The folder, yeah.
And then the Tomahawk was not proportional to the folder, but man, that
It
was
was
cool.
so cool.
But for
Yeah.
two cool fixed blades, for your first two fixed blades to turn my head the way it did, D2 tool steel with either like a PVD or a Cerakote or something.
they did it right.
Liners, if not double liners on the handle, like artisan. Way to pay attention to the things that like
People
knife
like,
guys
yeah, little
love.
details,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
And then to turn around and come out with something batshit insane like this.
It
Yeah,
makes me
Like,
laugh.
oh my god.
And the best part is, this isn't their only folder on the market. They came out with 3 or 4 other that were overshadowed by this ridiculous toy that everyone's talking about. But
When they make that into a balisong, like places in the States where you can have one, I guess you have to have it in a place where you can have a balisong and an auto.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
yeah,
And something that allows that blade length. So,
Yeah.
hey, good luck, guys.
for a live
It's-
blade. Yeah.
We're out of the running, but hey, maybe you have a chance.
But at the same time, bravo.
Yeah.
Artisan.
Well
Artisan
done, indeed.
cutlery, way to steal the show. And,
Oregon's gonna love this knife.
yeah. Montana, Utah love this knife.
Utah, love
Yeah.
it. Man,
California,
no.
man, get a 2-inch version. Get a baby auto like a Launch 4. Oh, I'm telling you. Kershaw took off with the Launch 4. They got the Launch 9, the Launch 10, all small sizes because they were such a hit.
Can you imagine that?
Make this
That handle with like a 1.5-inch blade on the end of it.
California legal size. I'm telling you, Artisan mid-year release. Do it up, guys.
That'd be
Do it
awesome.
up.
It would be funny. So yeah, that is the sum ups of what our favorite things from the SHOT Show were.
Paul, you got the Benchmade Outlast.
I did.
Yep.
I
Good
got the
offering.
Wee Knives Throma. Man, it's sexy.
It still sounds like a disease.
Got the Leatherman free P2.
The P2 or the P4. I think it's a winner
Yeah.
either way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I got the ridiculous, silly, absolute most fun
Artisan,
thing.
We're gonna end on this craziness. That's just awesome.
Yep,
Good
the
for you guys.
Artisan kinetic
Palm it.
tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, feel free to let us know what your favorites were from the SHOT Show. Comment, subscribe, share, follow along.
I really want to hear what everyone's favorites for 2019 SHOT Show. That's our 4, but this is a Gonzo episode, so let us know. Like, we're up for some discussion about what you like this year.
Indeed.
For sure.
This is Nigel the Smith signing off.
I am who I am. I'm Dennis Fibers.
I am the Iron Joe.
And I'm exile.ca.
We will catch you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
We don't need bigger knife. Yeah.